Like we could find a house right now that's someone's living in that needs to be updated, and we come in as a team, 80 people come in and paint and do the roof and all that stuff. We could knock it out. It could be like a show. It would be super cool, but like we'd be giving someone something back. And like, hey, we raised all the money for this. Maybe it's $50,000 or $100,000, but this is from our fund, and this is like how we give back to our community. And I was just like, we could do that right now. And like with our knowledge of real estate, hey, do the floors in here. We'll do new countertops. You know, do some landscaping, and then all of a sudden, a $400,000 house is a $600,000 house. But no, we're not making money off this. We're just giving. What's up, guys? This is Seed Time and Harvest podcast. This is episode 20. Can't believe it's 20 already. But what got you here won't get you there. Running with my man Alex Chapman. I'm nateforse, and we're rocking and rolling, dude. So
yeah, man.
You want to kick this one off?
20. Yeah, I'll kick it off.
Yeah, big number.
20 episodes. It's God, when you start something like this and the digital era that we're in, you do feel like you're late to the dance. We've talked about that before. Like everyone's doing this. Everybody's saying something. Everyone wants to be on a podcast. The gurus have already kind of set the path for it, whatever. And so I don't think you and I ever started with any expectation other than getting our voice out.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully making an impact on someone, which I do feel accomplished, right? Going through, I think we're coming up on a year anniversary as well.
Close,
right?
whatever
Close
date
to
that was,
it,
yeah.
right? And so, you know, I feel fulfilled with this. I know you do. I mean, we talk about this all the time. I think the topic today is interesting. You're reading the book. I just finished it. What gets you here won't get you there, right? And that could mean, it's very vague.
Yeah.
Right. And I know the key things that I picked out of that book. But also, I've also been told by mentors and people that I really love, like, you know when to level up, you know when it starts to get challenging. And you might have gotten, you know, in shape because of genetics. You might have gotten on this team because you knew the coach. You might have done well in business because you're tall, dark, and handsome, and you know, funny and whatever. And
I'm kind of pale, but
you
whatever.
But like, what got you here won't get you there. And so when you hit these benchmarks, could be so many things, and we'll talk about it. But let's, for the sake of it, like with business, right, with our industry, with real estate. For me, you know when I hear the title, "What got you here won't get you there," I already know where my mind goes. So before we dive into all of this, you're 3 chapters into it.
Yeah.
But take the book out of it just for a second. Like, where you're going right now, and both, you know, personal and professional, you know, where are you seeing, like, you know, we've talked about disciplines. We've talked about the grinds, the cold plunges, the doing the stuff you don't like, the non-sexy work, all the shit that just piles up and compounds that we do that others don't. Right. And what do you feel like, where do you feel like you're at with that? We've talked about peaks and valleys. We've talked about, you know, our fitness journeys. We've talked about the things we've done in our past. We've really covered a lot this year.
Yeah.
Right. And reflecting on the year of our, not just the work year, but like our podcast year, where do you feel like where we are right now, what got us here, and then what won't get us there?
Man, it's funny because when I texted you last night, that title, I completely forgot I was reading that book. I forgot that you were reading that book. Honestly, I looked I got in my truck this morning and put on Audible, and I was like, oh, snap, that's what we're chatting about today. Yeah. And so it was just kind of like a confirmation that we're on the right track. But I feel like, I mean, today's my 41st birthday.
Yep. Happy birthday, brother.
That's weird to say.
It's actually today.
Yeah.
I thought it was yesterday.
No, I'm a leap year baby, so it's the 28th today.
Hell
so
yeah, dude.
I get 2 days, the 28th and the 1st. So you don't have to call me at midnight. Just call me tomorrow. But
happy birthday,
but
brother.
Technically I was born in February, so I guess February 28th is a little more relevant.
Okay.
But like the thought I had why I wanted to talk about this was, I feel like I'm like in kindergarten right now. I feel like my whole 30s was essentially unlearning all the crap from my teens and 20s. And the thing that hit me was, there's a situation, like, I feel like all my challenges right now, I kind of feel like money's just coming, you know, like I don't feel like that was where I spent so much time of chasing that, where in my 30s and 20s, that like now that it's like I have the vehicles in place where it's like I feel like I would have to literally just like go live in the mountains in
You'd
the
have to
cabin.
quit.
Yeah, like to shut this thing off
you'd
now,
have to quit.
you know? So like even just like referrals, like you said, hey, I got one for you. Like
Yep.
I would just literally have to stop for that to happen. And so my challenge has shifted from that. That's like low hanging fruit in life. And I feel like everything is shifted to like interpersonal stuff, like challenges with people and different things. I had a situation come
Leadership,
up where,
all that. Yeah.
where I felt like I had been wronged in a scenario and I was angry. And it hit me that like, wow, I haven't felt that level of anger for a long time. And I remembered how much that used to drive me, how like that was so much a part of my life, like kind of like as an athlete, like you find something to piss you off to play better,
Motivate you.
and then that drives you, but it's ultimately like a negative force in your life, no pun intended. And I've just been thinking about like, man, like what do I need to do? Like what do I need to still unlearn to get me to that next level? Because getting to this point, it's like I haven't arrived. Like I'm never going to arrive. Like there's always going to be stuff I can learn. But like stepping into this decade now, for me, it's like, man, like what do I need to unlearn still to move forward that allows me to then learn what I need to learn? So it's almost like an unlearning, if that makes sense.
It is. And I think, God, okay, so there's just so many levels to this. And that's what's so cool about growth, as you realize, right, like time isn't really this. Time was like this invented thing of like days. Okay, well, there's one day, there's the seasons, there's the snow, there's this. And so we've talked a lot about time being this like, oh my gosh, we're up against the clock, we need to get after it. What I've realized is what got me here was, you know, really just work ethic and not wanting to quit. And then also leaning into the things I really love, which is people. Like I just love being around people, and I love being in a room with someone, whether it be an interview or being in front of the room, you know, motivating and inspiring, educating, whatever it is. I love the people aspect of it. And so what I've found is, oh wow, I've had all of these different things compound and build this awesome little life for myself. But I'm also feeling like there's this massive weight that like I can't cross over. And it's probably why I'm not sleeping. It's probably, you know, and it's not drinking. It's none of the party stuff. It's none of the bad things we've reviewed. It's like, what is this? What's going on? And I truly believe, as crazy as this sounds, and it won't sound crazy to you, but it could to someone watching, it's my relationship with God. Right? Where have I fully surrendered myself? Because I feel, if you listen to anyone, I was just watching this thing on Denzel Washington last night, and they asked him how many times he's surrendered himself to God, and he said he doesn't even know how many times. Right? Like over and over and over, he's had to do this, and especially like growing up in Hollywood and all the temptations he had, and he's one of the wealthiest actors ever, you know, ever. Worth 500 or 600 million or something crazy, right? And very much so a philanthropist and just a man of God. And he's been married to the same woman for 40 years, and all of these things about him. I really, if you haven't taken a deep dive into Denzel Washington, you should. And I haven't been sleeping, so I go through these weird phases of insomnia in my life, right? Where I won't sleep. Like, I mean, and when I get to sleep, it's a deep sleep, but I go into these like crazy dreams, like third dimension, fourth dimension. Just, I live another life when I go to bed. So I'm not, even when I'm asleep, I'm living this like, whether
so you
it
never
be
feel
like,
rested.
No, like whether it be trauma, stress, crazy dreams about like losing family members, kids, kidnappings, like just, you wake up and you're just like, what the hell was that? Right. And you wrote this morning, you know, a really cool text to me, and really just like it clicked into me of, wow, I just need to strengthen my relationship with God and my faith. Yeah. Because I have everything else. I go home last night, and I was like, you saw me yesterday. Like, I mean, I was smoked, and I wasn't smoked because of work. Yeah. Right. Like, we're not, building railroads. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not out there
Bricklayers.
like hauling coal or masons,
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, this, what we do is fantastic. It's easy. It's easy work,
Totally.
right? It's hard for some, but man, when you love it, it's not hard. So it's not the work. It's not the workload. It's not the expansion stuff. It's not the team. And I go home drained, and I sit on the couch, and for whatever reason, Elle like wanted to cuddle. She's not like, and she's one.
Yeah.
They don't want to just sit on your lap unless they're exhausted, right? And so, or sick or something.
She
just cuddles me up. My daughter Mulan comes down, who turned 16 this month. She comes down and she lays with me. And I'm trying to talk about this without crying. But
You're good, bro.
my grandmother told me years ago, way before she passed away, that God is going to bless me with more than one woman in my life, because he knows that I needed more than one. Right. And I always took that as like almost like the degenerate route. So my mind all went towards like womanizing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he knew I needed more than one woman. So that,
Let's go to the bar.
But that's not what she meant.
Yeah.
And I'm laying there, and I'm holding Elle, and I'm sort of cuddling up with these like two perfect humans, beautiful
Yeah.
ladies, and I created them. God created them, and Haley created them, and Hong created them with me, and there's all this love, and I'm like, my God, I was like, man, I wish my grandmother could see that.
Yeah. It's awesome, dude.
And this morning, I'm brushing my teeth, and I was like thinking of my grandmother. I'm thinking of her, I'm like, God, I wish she could see this. And I go into the next room, and Elle was like, Mama. And that's what she calls old women. And she's like staring at the wall, and she's like, Mama, Mama. And then she went, oh, wow. And dude, Haley and I were like, she goes, what was that? And I was like, that was Nana. Oh, dude, it was like, so I'm at this point of like, slap me in the face. I need to see you. And every time I get like that, something like this radical will happen to me. And so I just know that what got me here was like, God-given talent, work ethic, all these things. What will get me there is my faith in God. Like surrender. And so I've hit this, like, yes, there's all these little things in the book you can pick out to make you a better business person and all these things. But for me, when you really go through, like for me, it's my faith in God. Because I always look at you and I look at Gunnar and talk to Mikey and all. And I'm like, and it's not an envy, your relationship with God, but kind of. I'm like, man, I wish I had that. And like, what's blocking that? Is it my past? All the crazy shit I've done? All the lies I've told? All the things that I was involved with that were just not serving me at all, right? And really just the dark side of the world. And I was always so conflicted with how can evil achieve the same level, if not sometimes more success than the righteous, right? So I was always like, man, I was always doing the best when I was taking what I thought was mine versus working for it, right? And for the first time last night, this morning, and really just like deeply immersing myself in like what is going on, how are we going to get to this next phase of life, and to just go, it's so simple, but so hard in your relationship with God. So for me, going into this next chapter of everything that we're embarking on, and that's what I told you yesterday. Like I don't know, as I'm being called to be baptized. I'm talking to Gunnar about it today, and I'm like, I want to be in a natural body of water, and he's like, Cherry Creek Reservoir, and I'm like, no, it's man-made. I was like, he's like, dude, it's cold, and I'm like, well, let's figure it out, you know. So that's where I'm at with this, and there's a lot of good stuff in the book and things we could talk about. What gets you here won't get you there, and I'll still talk about that, but you've been a huge part of that in my life, so I appreciate you.
You know, it's so funny, bro. I mean, so many levels to what you just said. I just love your heart. Like, you just care, and like the thing that hit me, you were like, well, what's keeping me from this? And it was like 100% what you're thinking. Like, you're there. like I look at you and I'm like, man, I want to have these clear conversations. I feel like I'm not getting there. So it's like, it also challenges me. This is why we need people in our life, right? That's why we're doing this, you know? But like, I hear that and you're having these like awesome experiences. And like, I've had those kind of mountaintops, but like, I feel like now, like I haven't heard that in a while. And yesterday on Wednesday, I call him Uncle Reggie, my coach. He challenged us in our little group to like celebrate, like what monuments are you creating for the good in your life? I created monuments for worry all the time. I was living there. Like it says like place no other idols before me, right? I think an idol is just what occupies your mind the most.
That's right.
So it could be money, it could be women, it could be worry. It could also be like, oh, I'm serving people, which is a good thing, right? But if that takes the place, like if God's not that person who's occupying most of your mind, it is an idol. And I think that's why people get burned out in like ministry and stuff like that, you know, or serving, you know. And I texted you, like, I think you almost, like, this is a time for you to, like, be selfish. Like, I was thinking today, I was like, Alex just needs to disappear for, like, a week, you know? Because, like, you just give and give and give and give and give and give. But it's like you're tapped.
Yeah.
And you can only see something that's in yourself.
Yeah.
I know that's in me, too.
Yeah, you wrote that.
Yeah, like, I feel like
I'm writing this to myself.
I mean, like, I'm getting good sleep.
Right.
I'm sleeping like 8 hours, but I don't feel rested. I still wake up like I'm on the other side of it. It's weird.
Okay.
Like the physical side of it, I do all this stuff. I take magnesium and like all that stuff before I go to sleep. I have sleep hygiene and I have my routines and blah, blah, blah. But like, I don't feel like I'm rested as well. And so I know there's a piece of me that has to die, be surrendered in order to get to that next level, to get to the next place, you know? And it was just like, as you were talking, it was just like, I think we're on the same journey. It's just in different ways of seeing things, you know?
And that's what, I mean, I just want to figure out, and I think this goes back to what you and I have been talking about with work and business and real estate and our team of, you know, we talk about fitness a lot, and that's the cloth we're cut from, and we stay, you know, as much as we can, we stay trying to improve ourselves 1% better every day. Like just try to train, get in the cold tub, something to challenge yourself. And we talked about like announcing this to our team of like this is who we are. We're going to take a stance with health. You know, and if you're not taking that stance with us, you're going to feel uncomfortable because it's not where you are in your life. I believe in that wholeheartedly. But then as I'm thinking like more and more into this, I'm like, God, we're not giving enough. And I look at Mission Minded Business yesterday with Pete, and shout out to Mission Minded Business, Pete, his brother Luca, and everyone that's been a part of that. Anish, Michael, Gabriel, all you guys. Basically, what it is they're giving percentages of their commissions to go build homes for people that need a house that don't even have a home. And God, I just was watching their video yesterday, and I couldn't help but to just have cold chills. I wanted to cry. You know, I was holding it in.
Same.
Right? Like it was because it was affecting me differently. Of like, A, I was so proud that I'm around men like this that are doing stuff like this, and then B, man, like how blessed we are. That the one word, like a worry we don't have is like where we're gonna live.
I mean, I just looked at my monthly income, and it's doubled since last year. And it's like, now this is like a bad month for me, which was like more than I've ever made before. And I'm like, what am I doing with this? And that like really challenged me on a lot of levels as well. And like, even Pete and I were talking afterwards. I was like, what can we do here in Denver?
Yeah.
Like we could find a house right now that's someone's living in that needs to be updated. And we come in as a team, 80 people come in and paint and do the roof and all that stuff. We could knock it out. It could be like a show. It would be super cool. But like we'd be giving someone something back. I'm like, hey, we raised all the money for this. Maybe it's a $50,000 or $100,000, but this is from our fund, and this is like how we give back to our community. And I was just like, we could do that right now. And like with our knowledge of real estate, hey, do the floors in here. We'll do new countertops. You know, do some landscaping, and then all of a sudden, a $400,000 house is a $600,000 house. But no, we're not making money off this. We're just giving. You know, and then you can refinance and blah, 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 and go from there. And then that's for you. Do what you want with it. And I feel really strongly about that, man.
It needs to happen.
Totally.
Right. And so that was, the second part to this was got to give more. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's something where, more's coming.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily just hard money or just paying people more, different splits, all that stuff is always going to be a conversation, but like giving more to the people that truly need this.
Yeah.
And being part of something bigger. And so I just know that that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
I know it's in your heart, mind, and clearly it's in others.
I'm blessed to be a blessing.
Yeah.
I say it over my kids every night.
And God, man, I mean, I guess even just this being our 20th episode, like just the level of gratitude I have for you and for this and Alvy and just the consistency in this and being able to wake up and be excited about this. And we're so lucky. We're so blessed, to be able to just continue doing what we're doing at the level. And you go meet people in our industry and they're just not doing well. Or you go talk to someone on our team and they're just not doing well financially. Well, and it's like, I get in this weird feeling of like, I can't want it more than they do, so I'm like battling with the struggle of like, I see the light in you. I know how talented you are, but you've got to want it, you know? And I think that what we just keep doing it, keep saying what we're saying and keep being the examples. I
think that's like the culture we're creating. Yeah. It is here.
It is.
It's an ecosystem where you come and like, I might not have the right, like I used to be that guy that needed to like be the one who inspired you to change your life. And I got a lot of validation from that.
Yeah.
But I realize now it's just about creating the ecosystem where maybe we do a group workout and we do it every week when we go down to Cooler or whatever it is. And someone comes in and they don't have a conversation with me. They have a conversation with someone else that's that conversation that changes their life because it's an ecosystem.
Right.
And then they're plugged in and like the guy who came to the meeting yesterday, it says all he needs is confidence and an ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And who knows what's possible.
That's right.
And that to me, it's like, I don't need the credit anymore.
Yeah.
And going back growth. To like what.
That's real growth.
What won't get you here, what got you here won't get you there. The thought I had when you were talking about your dreams, think about all your dreams. It's a loss of control. Yeah. Something terrible happens. And I'm having the same exact dreams, like crazy stuff happening to my kids and all that stuff. Yeah. I think, and this is something that just hit me, is it's another level, another layer, another valley of trust. Like I feel like I got the trust thing down, like fail my real estate exam for the third time. A guy was like, do you trust me? And I was just like, yep, cool. So I'm going to show up. But now there's a whole nother level to it. And then it's actually like releasing control and letting other people drive the boat,
Yeah, man.
Like splitting deals and doing all this. And it's like giving me so much freedom. And I didn't realize I even had it. And that was even there until I started down that road.
Taking the ego out of things.
Yeah.
Because ego is just such a killer of so much,
It's just creating the place, creating the space for people.
Yeah.
And that's how they change their lives,
That's cool, man. That really is. I mean, I think that it's hard for you and I, because we want to do everything so fast. Yeah. And,
man, that's another piece of it.
Yeah. and some good things take time.
Yeah.
And they really do. And the more you do, the more you'll get, right? The less you do, the less you'll get. I mean, so I think, and the more consistent you are, it compounds and it comes your way. And so for anyone listening that's struggling, it's, just start. Yeah. Just start giving, start being better, start just little things, and they compound over time, and nothing happens overnight. And so every once in a while, but did it really happen overnight? Did it really happen overnight, or was this like compounding effect and finally it popped off after 2-3 years of something? Yeah. And then you started to feel success. But if you really look back and see all those drips that created this massive ripple, you're like, oh, it wasn't that one deal, or it wasn't that one interview, it wasn't that one expansion deal. It was like all this stuff, all these people that created that, so. That
was the image I had in my mind on the elevator coming up here, was like my 20s and kind of, through my 20s, I built this house, but it was built on like a shoddy foundation. It was not put together. I just threw it up as fast as possible. And my 30s were kind of like breaking that down to bedrock. And now like this decade is like building it. And what can you do when the foundation's strong? You can build it high,
anything you
but
want.
It takes time. And like being okay with that. And that's a surrender piece as well.
Yeah.
Being okay with seed time and harvest.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the biggest lesson I learned in the past couple of years was like, no, this is always in effect. Seed time and harvest. As the earth remains, this is what it'll be here. It's a universal law. And like actually just being like, okay, I'm not going to try to, inject steroids into this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a big part of what we do at B1 and in life, and it affects us even at home, right, is being present. And you'll get to that chapter in what got you here won't get you there and he talks a lot about, like the best politicians in the world will make you feel like you're the only one in the room. And there's
speakers in the world.
Yeah. And how there's a line of 1,000 people waiting to meet, Barack Obama or Trump or whoever, right?
Sure.
And these people are sitting there and they're going through a line and they're shaking everyone's hands. And that what he said is the best politicians in the world or people that he's helped consult were the ones that as soon as they shook that person's hand, they were able to make them feel like they were the only one that mattered in this whole room full of people that wanted something from them. And it was just a handshake and a connection. And how do you really do that? I mean, you have to truly care.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be able to turn off your brain from all the distraction around you. And I've been like very intentionally practicing this since I finished the book because, I mean, we're in this world.
Yeah.
Where how many people, when you go out here, how many agents and how many people are kind of pulling at your coat sleeve and they're like, Nate, Alex, really quick, do you got 5 minutes? And you do have 5 minutes, but your brain is telling you don't have 5 minutes, that you've got this call to make, that text to do, this email to send, this listing presentation to put together, this showing to prepare for, wifey's texting you, you're thinking about picking up your kids. And so when someone asks you, do you have 5 minutes? There's a side of you that's like, no, I don't. But you do. So you're like, yes, but you're not really giving them that investment, right? You're still texting as they're talking, right? Or you think you're multitasking and they're thinking you're blowing them off.
Yeah, you're
right?
in a hole.
Right?
Yeah,
and so I was like, oh my God. To me, that was one of my biggest takeaways from that book was, oh my God, there's no such thing as multitasking. You're either present or you're not. Whether it's with your kids, it's with your wife, it's with your employees, it's with your...
They say it's just like a light switch.
Yeah.
You're flipping from one subject to another, so you're actually not multitasking.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not giving either one your attention.
Yeah.
You're just kind of half out, half in, or 33, 33, 33, and that doesn't feel good for somebody that's coming to you that really needs you, even if it's just to talk about their son's illness.
Yeah.
So I was talking to an agent yesterday in here who I haven't seen in a while, and I said, "How are you doing?" And she wasn't like feeling that great, right? She's really going through some troubles.
Yeah.
And I'd noticed that she like locked in and really talked to me about what was going on. And because I was conscious about, and I hate to say it, but because of that book, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm being given this opportunity right now to just lock in on her for just a few. She doesn't need very long. She just needs a few minutes. And wow, what she's telling me is very powerful. And I was looking at her and I could behind her see all the movement of like everything that was going on just right out here. And it was like, and I could even feel people trying to get my attention while I was listening to her. But once they realized that I was locked in on what was happening, everything just kind of like drifted away. And it took a minute, probably 2 minutes of conversation, and nothing else existed around us except me talking to her. And I could tell that she didn't like break eye contact with me once. She was just, so had I looked over and acknowledged him or went over and nodded at her or whatever, she would have felt in that moment, hello, I'm talking.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, wow, that's incredible. Wow. That is a secret sauce. If you can truly go, bang, talk to me. Right. And Elon Musk, they talk about his eye contact and what he does when he's at SpaceX and Twitter and different places. And they've had videos of him and when he's meeting people and how he's right there with them. Right. And it's like, this is how a billionaire introduces himself to people, and they'll go to like, there's like a series on YouTube of like how Elon presents himself to people, and how he's like, when he shakes hands, he's right there. Tell me your name. Tell me what do you do here? What do you do? And he's locked in to this group of people or this person until he's done with the conversation. Then he's on to the next thing. And they're able to compartmentalize their focus and say, okay, one after another, one after another, one after another, versus thinking that you're just this like showman that can entertain. That's an entertainer.
Yeah.
Versus someone that is like, you know, trying to make an impact on someone. So I was really excited to get the opportunity to practice that. But you and I are going to get to practice that on a daily basis. And that from this book, what you'll realize is what that builds in your brain is like an irreversible habit that will excel you in the realm of public speaking, executive positions, growth, because you're able to sit there and be present, even if only for a moment. That person felt heard. They felt like you listened to them. They felt that they had that time, that space, that safety with you. It's really, really cool. So, and we get to talk about that. And I think in leadership with B1, we should talk about that more, of people that think that and I'm the worst at thinking I need to respond quickly. Yeah. And so I've like been really trying to just like, look, I'll get to that in a second, you know, and stay right there. Like our podcasts. Man, we're right here together.
Dude, that's what I love about this so much. Like, I just kept thinking, like, your presence is a present.
Yep.
Like, it's a
you
gift.
say that all the time.
It's a gift you get. It's because it's one of my biggest challenges. Like, I'm a squirrel brain by nature, you know, and I want to do this, I want to do this. It's like I was texting my wife, like, getting a bunch of birthday texts, super grateful, love, appreciate, but it almost like stresses me out because I'm trying to like respond to all this, and I need to just like compartmentalize it. I come back to it when like my work's done in the afternoon. So why do I feel like I need to do it right now? And like that's been a battle I've been struggling with, is presence for a long time. Like shared yesterday, like be a little, do a little, have a little.
Yep.
You know, be more, do more, have more. My brain immediately goes to do more. I gotta caffeine, go faster, you know, but it's actually do more presence. That's what hit me when you were just talking. It's like, I need to increase my presence skill, where like when someone comes in, hey, you got 5 minutes, pause. Yes. I'm all in. I'm 100%. I'm 100%. I'm 100%.
Get way more done.
As opposed to 25, 27%, 3%. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so that's like the lesson for me that I'm taking away. Like it's a reiteration of what I already know. You can do more when you're more present. Yep. And it's like, and that's, I think that this is the path forward. This is the next lesson for me. Trust, presence. Yep. I think those go hand in hand. Because like when you release control, you got to trust that it's going to be okay, right? You got to trust God. You got to trust that person too. And then it's like managing people more so than just like, I got to do more work, which I've been good at, you know?
Yeah, I think you that's a warm blanket there. For me, you know? Yeah. Because you're in control. Yeah. You know?
I've been doing this exercise, and it was unintentional. Every night I'll lay with my son. He's like, cuddle, Dad. I'm like, I love this. Like, because when you're 18, it's probably not going to happen. So I'm going to eat it up right now.
I'm telling you right now, when they're 14, it's not going to happen.
Or maybe 10. But I ask him every night, I was like, buddy, what's the favorite part about today? And it's been an actually really awesome exercise for me, because then I go back through my day, and almost always it's like when I come home and he like runs to the door and tackles me, and like, or like dropping off at school, and like we get to, you know, do our mantras and all that other stuff. It's never like, oh, I sold this deal or had this cool meeting. But then I go back to him like, dang, today was an awesome day. And it's making me be more present with my day. I think one of the main markers that you're not present, raising my hand big time, is when life like flies by. I'm like, it is March already. God. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I feel like we've done a year's worth of work in 2 months.
I agree.
You know, which is good. But I'm like, okay, how do I be present in the chaos? Because like, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. That's on my desk. And like that video you shared yesterday, it's like, I've been on a journey my 20s. I was looking for easy. And then when I finally surrendered to like, no, this is going to be a challenge. I just need to be better in the challenge. Life has started to get easier, right? That's right. You know, nothing's changed, but my whole way of seeing things has changed.
That's right.
So it's just like, man, lesson after lesson. It's just like,
man, handle hard better.
Yeah, that was such a good video.
Learn to handle hard better, because it will never get easier.
Yeah.
It's gonna get hard. And this is
But you get
today's
better.
as easy as it's going to get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now,
Yeah.
it's as easy as our day is going to be. Right, this 40 minutes that we're in here.
This is fun, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. Very much so.
Oh, likewise.
20
bro.
episodes down and thousands to come.
Yeah. God willing.
That's it, man. That's it. Amen.
Well, cool. Well, this is episode 20. What are we calling this? What won't get you here? What got you here won't get you there.
Yeah, what got you here won't get you there.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun, dude. Honored to be on this journey with you. Grateful for you, man.
You too, brother.
Yes, sir.
Love you, man.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
Love you too,
LB.
man. Peace.